I want to start this deep dive with a thought experiment. Imagine you have a map,
Okay.
but it's not a normal map. The landmarks they're always moving. The mountains slide around, the rivers just change course overnight, and the compass is basically useless.
That sounds like one of my recurring anxiety dreams, actually.
It does, doesn't it? But that's the premise of the source we're unpacking today. An article by Ryan Collison called Co-Regulation in Chaos. He
Oh.
argues that map, that's the job of a modern parent.
It's a heavy way to start, for sure, but it's also really hard to argue with.
Right.
Collison's whole point is that the future has become, and this is his word, illegible. We think our job as parents is to pass down a toolkit.
Here's how you write a resume, here's how you save money.
Exactly. But Collison says, wait, just stop. The skills you have right now might be totally irrelevant or even harmful by the time your kid is 25.
And that's terrifying. It hits that deep parental fear of I have no idea what I'm doing. Reading this, I felt like he was just looking at me and saying, you're right, you don't know, you can't.
You can't map a place that doesn't exist yet.
Exactly.
So if the content of our parenting, the specific advice, the homework help, if that's all potentially useless, what's left? That's the question we're trying to answer today. Is there a meta skill that survives all that chaos?
Which brings us to the big idea for this deep dive, co-regulation. And I'll be honest, when I first saw that term, I kind of rolled my eyes.
I get that.
It sounds like something from a very beige Instagram post, just co-regulate. It feels like a fancy way of saying just calm down.
I had the same reaction. It sounds so soft. But what makes this source so good and why we're doing this is that it just throws all that fluff out. Collison pivots hard into biology and, what I found amazing, physics.
Physics.
Yeah. The argument isn't that co-regulation is a nice feeling. It's that it is a hardwired physiological mechanism. It's a survival function, not just a parenting style.
Okay, so let's strip away the softness. We're not talking about like holding hands and singing songs. Biologically, what is actually happening when we co-regulate?
To get this, you have to completely change how you think about the human nervous system. In the West, we love this idea of the rugged individual, right? My stress is my problem, your stress is yours. We're separate units.
Self-regulation, that's the buzzword. We're always told to teach our kids self-regulation.
Precisely. But biology, it doesn't really agree. The source says our nervous systems are actually social organs. They're open loops. They are designed to broadcast their state and to receive the state of others.
So it's like Bluetooth. My anxiety isn't just in my head, it's a signal I'm putting out.
A very, very strong Bluetooth signal. I mean, think about it. Have you ever walked into a room right after a huge argument ended?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's talking. Everyone's just staring at their computer. But the air feels thick. Your stomach just drops.
You feel it instantly. My body reacts before my brain even knows why.
You entrained to the room's nervous system. Now let's flip that. A crying baby. A baby has zero ability to self-regulate. Their brain isn't built for it yet. If you pick them up and you're frantic and scared, what happens?
They just scream louder. It's like throwing gas on a fire.
Yes. But if you pick them up and you don't say a single word, you just hold them. And you consciously slow your own breathing, you steady your heart. Eventually, the baby settles. You didn't teach them anything. You used your biology to hack theirs. Your heart rate literally influenced their heart rate. That's co-regulation.
Using your biology to hack theirs. That's a powerful way to put it. And the article takes this even further with this model from physics that I found. Well, it was mind-blowing. The coupled oscillator model.
This was the big aha moment for me, too. It takes it out of just biology and into, like, the fundamental laws of how things work.
I am not a physics person, but the way Collison laid this out just clicked. It's about rhythm, right? Vibrations.
It is. Imagine a wooden shelf. And on that shelf, you put 5 metronomes. You start them all at different times.
Okay, so total chaos. Click-clack, tick-tock, a mess.
A total mess of noise. Now, imagine that shelf isn't bolted to the wall. It's just resting on 2 soda cans, so it can wiggle a tiny, tiny bit.
So the vibrations from each one travel through the board.
Exactly. They are now mechanically connected. And if you just watch them for a minute or two, something incredible happens. They start to sync up, all on their own. The chaos becomes one single unified beat.
Wow. They entrain to each other because of the shared energy.
That's a coupled oscillator system. And here's the punchline. A parent and a child are coupled oscillators.
I love that metaphor, but it also kind of terrifies me because with the metronomes, they just agree on a rhythm. With parenting, it really matters who is setting the beat, right?
That is the critical piece. In physics, the oscillator with the most stability becomes the reference frequency.
The anchor.
The anchor. The tuning fork. When a child is in chaos, screaming, panicked, whatever, they are a metronome swinging totally offbeat.
And this is where I realized my big mistake. My instinct is to grab their little metronome arm and force it to match mine. I say, stop crying, or here's the solution. I'm trying to manually fix their oscillator.
Right. You're trying to be the mechanic. But the model says, don't touch their metronome. Just make sure your metronome is swinging strong and steady. If you stay regulated, the physics of your connection will pull them towards your rhythm.
Which is, let's be real, so much harder than just yelling, stop crying.
Oh, it's the hardest thing in the world. You have to override your own biology that wants to panic right along with them.
This brings us back to that illegible future idea. The source makes a really key distinction here between what it calls content-dependent skills and content-independent skills. This is where it all came together for me.
It's a brilliant way to frame it. Most of our parenting stress is about content-dependent stuff. Teaching math requires you to know math. Teaching driving requires, the rules of the road.
And if the rules of the road completely change,
your skill is useless. If you teach your kid to code in one language, and in 10 years AI writes all the code, that skill is expired. The content went bad.
But co-regulation is content independent.
Exactly. It does not matter why the child is upset. A broken toy today. A global supply chain collapse in 20 years. The what is irrelevant. The mechanism of safety is the same.
So let's play this out. 10 years from now, my daughter comes home. She's panicked about some social dynamic on a virtual platform I don't get, involving a currency I've never heard of. Maybe an AI bot is bullying her.
A perfect example, a totally illegible scenario for you.
So I have no advice. I can't say just block him. I can't say it'll be fine because I have no idea if it will be. I'm clueless. I have zero content.
Or content ignorant.
Yeah.
But you can still be process competent.
So instead of trying to solve the tech problem, I just focus on her nervous system.
Yes. You see, she's dysregulated. You feel yourself getting anxious because you don't get the threat. And you stop. You ground yourself. You breathe. You become that steady metronome. You look at her and say, I see you're terrified. I don't get the tech, but I'm right here.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
The source has a line for this. You can't map it for them, but you can navigate it with them.
That's it. You go from being the oracle, the one with all the answers, to being the container, the one who makes it safe to not have answers.
That feels so liberating. I'm so tired of pretending I have all the answers. It's a relief to just say, I don't know.
And it's sustainable. Being an oracle is exhausting. Being an anchor is just being.
But, and this is a big but, we have to talk about fake calm because I've tried being the anchor before, but I was just, gritting my teeth, looking calm on the outside, but screaming, shut up, shut up, shut up.
On the inside. Ah, the serenity now approach.
Exactly. Does that work? Can I just fake the beat?
No. And the biology tells us why. Remember, these nervous systems are social organs. They pick up on microsignals you're not even aware of, your tone, your pupil dilation, tiny muscle tremors. If you're acting calm but feeling rage, you're broadcasting what's called incongruence.
A mixed signal.
It's worse. To a child, it feels like a lie. It's unsafe. If mom is smiling but her energy is screaming, danger, the kid's system goes on high alert. They think, why is she hiding the threat from me? The source is so clear on this. It has to be genuine regulation.
So I can't fake it till I make it.
Not really. But, and this is key, genuine doesn't mean you're a robot. It's not about being zen all the time. It just means you're processed. You can say, wow, I am feeling really frustrated right now, so I'm going to take a deep breath. That's honest.
And it models how to handle the feeling instead of pretending it's not there.
Exactly.
There's a script in the article that I found so useful for this. It's for when you're truly lost. You say, I don't know either. Let's figure this out together.
It's so simple, but think about it. In a chaotic world, I don't know is going to be the most common thing we say. If that phrase always triggers panic, we're in trouble.
Right.
But if you can say, I don't know, from a place of connection and safety, you teach your kid that uncertainty itself is survivable. You're rewiring their relationship with the unknown.
That's a huge shift. I always thought my job was to make the distress go away. Here's a cookie, here's a solution, stop worrying.
That's the fixer mindset. The source says, the goal isn't to eliminate distress. It's to show them that big feelings can be felt without being destroyed by them. You are the proof. You're standing there in the storm with them, and you're not falling over. That tells them the storm is survivable.
Okay, I'm sold. But I'm also thinking, I have already messed this up so many times. I have been the chaotic metronome. I've yelled, is there any hope for the imperfect parent here?
We all have. and this is probably my favorite part of the whole thing. It talks about repair.
The repair.
The standard isn't 100% perfection. That's impossible. You're human. You will lose your cool. The magic, the source says, is in the return.
So going back after you've lost it.
Yes, going back and saying, hey, I lost it earlier. I got overwhelmed. That was my stuff, not yours. I'm sorry. I'm calm now. Can we try again?
Why is that so powerful?
Because it teaches the most important lesson. Disconnection isn't permanent. If you were a perfect robot parent, your kid would never learn how to fix a relationship after a fight. By rupturing and then repairing, you're actually building a stronger connection. You're showing them the path back to safety.
So the screw-up is actually part of the curriculum.
It's an essential part.
Okay, let's pivot to the darker side of this. We've talked about when it works, but what happens when co-regulation is consistently missing? Not just a bad day, but a chronic lack of that steady frequency.
This section was heartbreaking, but it explains so much. This source reframes a lot of bad behaviors, not as moral failures, but as adaptations.
Adaptations to a bad signal, or no signal.
Exactly. The child's nervous system has to find a workaround to survive.
One of them mentioned is self-isolation.
Right. And the logic is clear. If bringing my problem to my parent makes them fall apart, then I learn very quickly. Do not bring problems to the parent. It's a safety strategy. I protect myself from their chaos by isolating.
So the kid isn't being secretive, they're protecting their own system.
Precisely. And then you have chronic self-regulation, which sounds good.
Yeah, we want self-regulated kids.
But this is the kid who is too independent. The 10-year-old acting like they're 30. They're carrying a huge load because they don't trust anyone else can help carry it. It looks like maturity, but it's actually hypervigilance.
And then the one that really hit me, substance use.
Yes. This is a crucial reframe. The article calls it chemical co-regulation.
That phrase just stopped me cold. Chemical co-regulation. Can you unpack that?
If you can't find that steadying frequency in another human, if you can't get that sync from a person, you'll find it in chemistry. Alcohol, drugs, sugar, screens, these things chemically force your nervous system to downregulate. They mimic the effect of a calm presence.
So the drug becomes the artificial anchor because a human one wasn't available.
Exactly. It's a desperate biological search for a baseline. The body must regulate. If it can't do it socially, it will try to do it chemically.
That brings so much empathy to the table. It's not just a moral failing, it's a search for a tuning fork.
It's a survival mechanism that's gone wrong.
So, if we accept this, that our main job is to be the anchor, how do we actually do it, especially when we're stressed and staring at the same chaotic future they are?
The source is pretty blunt about this. You cannot give what you do not have.
Which means?
Self-work. It's not a luxury. It's the prerequisite. You have to work on your own baseline stability. Therapy, exercise, meditation, whatever helps you know what calm actually feels like in your own body.
The oxygen mask on the plane. You can't help your kid if you're suffocating.
Exactly. If your metronome is broken, you can't help tune theirs.
And the second practical tip was presence without agenda.
I love this one.
I feel so called out by this one. I am the king of efficiency parenting, trying to have the deep talk in the 10 minutes on the way to soccer practice.
We all do it. But remember the physics. The metronomes didn't sync instantly. It took time for the vibrations to align. You can't microdose presence.
So I just have to be there.
You just have to share space. Read your book while they play their game. Watch their show without judging it. Just let the nervous systems simmer in the same room. That is the work.
Retraining ourselves to see that idle time is actually connection time.
It's where the entrainment happens.
You know, for all the terrifying talk of illegible futures at the beginning, I actually find this whole idea incredibly hopeful.
I do too, a lot.
Because it really simplifies the job. I don't need to predict the future. I don't need to be an expert on the 2040 job market. I just need to be the anchor.
That's it. The content of the world is going to change in ways we can't imagine. But the human biological need for a regulated nervous system to couple with, that's stable. That's forever.
So if you can do that one thing, you're giving them the only tool that's guaranteed to transfer.
The only one that really matters.
I want to leave our listeners with one last thought. We focused on parenting, but you said nervous systems are social organs, and that doesn't just stop when you walk out the door.
Nope. It's broadcasting 24/7.
So here's the question to think about. If you're walking around all day broadcasting a frequency to your partner, your colleagues, the person at the grocery store, what signal have you been putting out?
And who is in trading to it?
Are you the chaos in the room, or are you the tuning fork? Something to think about. Thanks for this deep dive.
See you next time.